Hey, what's up, guys and girls? This is Midori, and I'm back with another episode of Drawing Midori. Now, as you can see, today I will be working with Raziel from Soul Reaver. If you don't know who Raziel is and what game is this from, it's from back in the day, a PlayStation classic from the 90s, and it's I pretty much played it when I was a kid, and it's a really great game, especially for its time. It was very revolutionary for its time. And as you can see, this drawing or well painting is going to be a digital matte painting. If you don't know what's a digital matte painting, it's pretty much like a production plate. It's sort of different than the traditional digital painting. It's more like painting with textures. You know, you're using a lot of textures incorporation with digital paint, you know, with regular colors and stuff like that. You pretty much use a lot of sampling, a lot of photo references, you know. Digital matte painting is pretty much used a lot in like set extensions that you will see. So 90% of the time you see like, you know, beautiful buildings or very creative buildings in the backgrounds of movies. That's pretty much most likely a matte painting. About 80% of the time they will sort of incorporate both uh, live action elements, like it'll be a half of a building, but then the extended part of the building will be all matte painting. So that's pretty much the technique I'm going to be using with this drawing, well, this painting. So it's pretty much different than my traditional stuff that I usually do, so I decided to do this one a little bit different. So as you can see, I started off painting the model, also using a reference from, you know, a real model that exists, that I just got some random picture from, you know, Google, and then from there I took, you know, texture from, you know, the scarf to form his scarf that you see in the game, and also using textures, actual textures that you will see from the actual rendering of Raziel that I'm using for my matte painting, as you can see here. And you know, matte painting is pretty much the same principle applies to you know, digital painting, using a lot of layers and texturing, you know. But this, you know, the purpose, you know, and the style that I'm going for is more of a like realistic sort of production, you know, photo. So that's pretty much the goal for this one, and I'm sort of doing it in my style or my interpretation of how Raziel would look like if there was to make a movie or make a realistic version um, of the character. Now, if you want to know some background of Raziel, pretty much in the original game, he's actually not originally from Legacy of Kain, you know, because the original Legacy of Kain, the game on PlayStation, it was just Kain by himself. You know, you play as the bad guy in that game in his quest for revengeance. You know, Kain used to be a human, but then he was killed by some noblemen, and he pretty much like sort of like make it a bet with the devil and seek his revengeance on the noblemen that killed him. So, and Soul Reaver takes place like thousands of years later. Kain is like the big boss, and Raziel is sort of like an evolution of Kain, and he got jealous and pretty much ripped off his rings, you know, and threw him in the abyss. So the whole game premise is based on Raziel getting his revenge on Kain, pretty much. So, you know, that's pretty much it. And I played it when I was about 8, 9 years old, and I still remember this game, and I hope one day that they'll make a sequel to the game. So like you said here, I mean, like I said here, you can see, again, I'm using a whole bunch of textures to try to do, you know, his bandages that you see, you know, him, you know, wearing the game, and try to make his look as close as possible to his Soul Reaver, his sword, sort of like his sword in the game that he uses to kill his enemies and take their souls, pretty much. So I use a lot of different smoke textures. The claws I got, I think those are alligator claws. So you mean, So you can see I'm pretty much using a whole bunch of different elements, and it's just pretty much putting layers on top of each other, changing the opacities, changing the mask, doing a lot of masking in the layers, and also using adjustment layers. Pretty much, the video is going pretty fast, so you're not going to be able to see exactly 100% what I'm doing, but you sort of get the idea. Guys, if you like this, be sure to let me know in the comments. I'll do a lot more digital paintings in the future. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. You can follow me on Instagram at Midori's Art Page. I really appreciate you guys joining. Next week or later this week, I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing. I might do Spider-Man because, you know, the news just break and Stan Lee just died. So it's a very sad day, and I think I will be doing a tribute video on Stan Lee. So probably will most likely do Spider-Man. Okay, I'll check you guys later. You have a great day or a great night whenever you guys get a chance to watch this. Later.